It's Miss Summit again. Alright, these two problems specifically say to solve a substitution. What I highly recommend doing is splitting these in half and doing substitution on one side and elimination on the other. That way you can practice both methods. You don't have to do that. But remember, this is a study guide. It's to guide your study. So doing extra work is just helping you. Okay, since it's saying substitution, that means the problem's probably set up for substitution. Different things are set up for different ways of solving. That doesn't mean you have to do it that way. I noticed that y is by itself. So for it to be set up for substitution, that means one of the variables is isolated. It's by itself. Y is 3x minus 10. The equal sign just means the word is. So that means I can put 3x minus 10 in the y spot because it's literally telling me that y is this expression. I'm going to rewrite this as my 3x. The 3x is just going to come straight down, then plus my 4, and then I'm going to put my little multiplication sign and put 3x minus 10 and equals 5. I'm going to take a pause just to make sure that I copied everything down right. I got my 3x there. Awesome. I got my 4 there. Great. I got my 3x minus 10. Okay. And I got my equals 5. Taking that 5 seconds to make sure you wrote it down right is really important. Again, the reason that we struggle with these is not that we aren't smart. It's just sometimes we accidentally miss things. Whenever you're solving an equation, the first thing you're going to do is the distributive property. This is actually what we learned in Unit 1. It's how to solve an equation. Now, I always like to put a barrier down the middle, and the reason I put the barrier down the middle is it helps me remember that anytime I move across that line, I have to do the opposite. Alright, back to the distributive property. I'm going to take that 4, and I'm going to multiply it times the 3x, and multiply it times the negative 10. And then I'm bringing down my equals 5. So we have 3x plus 12x minus 40 equals 5. Yay, all distributed. The next thing I'm going to do is combine like terms. When I say combine like terms, I mean I end up wanting my variables on one side and my constants on the other. Right now it's all jumbled. We don't want it jumbled. It's like mixing up Skittles and M&Ms. We want our Skittles here and our M&Ms here. This guy can't be over here. He doesn't have a variable. He doesn't belong there. He needs to go over here. Now, I always call this the line of opposites to remind me that if I move it over here, I have to do the opposite. So, I'm going to leave my 3x plus 12x here and deal with them later. And then 5 plus 40 is 45. So now my constants are combined. I got to get my variables all together though. 12 plus 3 is 15. Bring down that x, don't forget them. And I got my 45. I still have numbers over here though. And I don't want numbers. I want x by itself. So I'm going to divide this by 15. Because what this really means is I have 15 x's. And I only want 1 x. I don't want 15 x's. So I'm going to divide it by 15 to get what 1 x equals. 45 divided by 15 is 3. Unfortunately, we're not done yet. It's called substitution, so I still have to substitute. I found my x, but I need to go back and plug it into my top equation to figure out what my y equals. I'm going to take a second and make sure that I rewrite it perfectly. That way I don't make any mistakes. And then I'm going to write that x equals 3 so I can remember. Okay, now that I have my important information down, I'm going to substitute that 3 for x because it said x is 3. Oh, that blue's a little dark. That's okay. So I'm going to do y equals 3 times 3 minus 10. Again, this means I have 3 x's. You don't have to write 3 times 3. You could write y equals 3 plus 3 plus 3 because remember, that means you have 3 x's. Okay, but sometimes it's easier to multiply than add like that. And if that confuses you, just scribble it out. If it doesn't make sense, don't let it bring you down. Remember PEMDAS, so I'm going to do the 3 times 3 first, so that's going to give me 9. And then I'm going to do my 9 minus 10. I highly recommend using a calculator for all of this, because if you try to do it in your head, you might get some brain fatigue. Remember, you're not done because your solution is always written as a coordinate point. If you want to do this as elimination, you can. I used all my space, so I'm not going to do it as elimination. Try to pause this, maybe make up your own problem or Google substitution problems, and try some more on your own. I'll do the next one in just a minute.